Side is a place, it's like all black people where I'm from. There wasn't nobody else, just all black people. And that's what I grew up around. I grew up listening to like soul music first when we was little. It was like soul, you know, Frankie Beverly and Mays, Anita Baker, stuff like that. And that's what my mama was into. And my mom and my uncle, Frank, nephew of Frank, they used to dance. They used to do the Dusty Stepper sets in Chicago, and they used to go to like the Arkansas ball, cause my people, they were born in Arkansas, Helena, Arkansas, and they moved to Chicago in the '60s to the Hornets on the west side. And then, you know, a few good things happened, and my grandmother moved to the south side in the hundreds, and that's where I was born, around that area. Woodlawn Hospital, it don't even exist no more. And yeah, that's that. Hip-hop was real big in the house. I think first my cousin Pat, he was a DJ on my uncle Frank's side through my auntie Jean. Pat used to DJ, and he had like all the records, all the UTFOs and Curtis Blows and all that kind of stuff, and he had Run DMCs, and we was just, they used to trip us out going over there seeing him with the records. This is like, ooh, 83 to like, you know, around that area. Then my cousin Derek, who happened to be the same sign as Pat, they both Aquariuses, Fat Nice, that's his name. He became like a b-boy on the south suburbs, super b-boy, breaking, MCing, he could write, you know what I mean? He in the house DJ, you know, without the turntables. And the dude had every tape ever came out, from Fat Boys to KRS-One to BDPs, all that stuff. And that's how I got into hip-hop, through him. And just growing up in the radio station in Chicago. No, I don't play any instruments. I didn't play an instrument. I think by the time I was able to take a music class and they gave me an instrument, I was no good at it. I couldn't play it, couldn't blow the horn. You know how you have to set your lips? I think they gave me like a trumpet or something. And I was like, I didn't like the way you had to fixate your mouth over the thing. It never felt right, spraying the stuff on there to keep it clean. I thought that was awful. Nowadays, I'll probably play more horns and stuff to add sounds and nuances to my music than any other time. But as a child, I didn't play. I didn't like to be around people too much. Still don't. I don't like too many people. I like my family. I was raised around a lot of people, so I didn't need too many outside people. I appreciate people, and I appreciate people being into what I'm into, but as far as having them all, you know, too many people around you, it's like a distraction. It'll take away from me being creative. For me, it don't help me. What was your next question? He said, you know, what made you say, okay, what made me say I wanted to rhyme and do hip hop? First and foremost, like I said, my cousin Fat Nice, by him being the MC, being in this group in the south suburb, Posse in Effect, that was their name, Posse in Effect. We on a rampage. Get out of my face, I'm in an angry stage. That was dope. And yeah, him doing that spawned me and my cousin Shun, Daryl D, to create our own group, Lamont and Daryl's Posse. We were in the basement, like in the summers, and he'll be rhyming, so it was like an influence. It just spread. I guess if you're around a person MCing, or like you being around a DJ, maybe you grew up to be a DJ or something, but the dude could rhyme. He could rhyme his butt off, and he taught me how to rhyme by secondhand influence. And from that point on, I think it was like 10 years old, 10 to 12, around that time. I thought then 12, I think I recorded my first tapes. We recorded like mad tapes, like every summer, like thousands and thousands and thousands. I'm over exaggerating. Hundreds of tapes and hundreds of songs over other people's beats. It's kind of commercialized now to do that. That's corny. It's like that's what we had, so we just rap over other people's beats. I don't even know if I'm supposed to respond to that, but if a person doesn't write their own songs, it's like they're not coming from their own heart and their own mind or their own influence. It's like, how can you speak a subject that's not original to you? I couldn't imagine not writing my own information and sharing what I feel from my experience. The name of my first songs, that is a tough question. The only reason I can say it's a tough question is because I don't know the name of my first songs. The name of my first songs we didn't even name. We had stuff like, we would like improv, freestyle. We would do stuff like stay black, stay black, stay black, black, stay black, black, black. Minister Farrakhan, free Mandela. That was our song. You know what I mean? We was chanting. You know, so our first songs were mostly just freestyle and for fun. They didn't have names. I remember 6-7 years after that, in '95, I got my first set of turntables and microphone and some vinyl, like these vinyl sets, grab bag packages from Beach Street in New York, the record store. I think it was in Brooklyn, and it was mail order in the back of the source, and I order all these records and just rap over those beats. Those songs became some of the first songs I made 7 years later too. You know, after the first songs we recorded in '89, it was all just for fun, for the early parts of me rhyming. That's why on my discography it has like a set dates about from '89 to like '95 of just freestyles, because that's all I had as far as my music will go. I still have those tapes though. How many projects have I done before my current project? I kind of have to answer that question like, how does Bruce Lee kick really fast? I don't know. I just do a lot of records. I record a lot and I save it and I make projects out of them. I make albums and they come out. Some of them I thought out over 5-6 years, 3 years, 2 years. Some of them thought about in one night. It is recorded somewhere or written somewhere that it's like 100 and something projects, and that's how I keep the count, by people being interested in the fact that I've done them. It's mostly for other people. I don't associate with many people. I don't know many people like that. But through the music, I know a lot of people. And thanks to them, what I do is necessary. And I appreciate that. I love that. The name of the new album is Pause Record, Not for Sensitive Ears. I came up with the title. I was in the car and I said the name of my next project is going to be called Pause Record, because I was thinking about the fact that when I used to record all the tapes and all the albums I used to record when I was young, they were pause record, like the old school DJ tapes that we used to make and collect. And I said, you need to give that feel to something you're doing nowadays. With the Pause Record album, I wanted to give myself like a some type of raw appeal, like show them how I record, like the people who listen to it, like give them an idea of how raw it is. It's kind of, I don't use like more than 4 tracks at a time for albums like this, and I don't try to use too many outside influences helping me and stuff. I stick to the roots, stick to my guns. I listen to, making this record, I listened to Zora Neale Hurston, Fela Kuti, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey speeches, because I remember when we used to record, me and my cousin, those were the type of things we would add to our music, or add to the way that we would put the music together. It was mainly this nationalist, black nationalist music, you know. So, and then the same thing go with the politically charged atmosphere of some of the musicians that made that type of music, like Fela Kuti and such. What's the next one? How many tracks on the album? It is 17. I think only like 15 of them are songs. It's a segue, an intro, and outro. The intro and the outro, they were joined together. I broke them apart. Segue was like a little rough mix I made in between it. Homage to the way we used to record. Just mix stuff right over it. Shout out to Dusty A, rest in peace, for the segue. Because, you know, every album I gotta shout out Dusty A. That's my man. He was one of the brothers who influenced me to create a catalog of music. He was doing things, he was saying, you should always categorize all this stuff, you know, because people care about all this stuff. Even if you don't, somebody else may. So his words advised me to make sure I kept it in some type of order. And it's in an order because of that. I didn't care, I just did it. And the segue was his. We was recording the album together, me and him, before he passed away. Matter of fact, I was recording the album live from San Fran, and I think I was visiting Memphis, and I came to see him before he passed away, or before I moved away, you know, to California. I went and saw him. I can't remember exactly, but he was telling me, yo man, he had all these, what's the name of that lady? Esther. He had her records and stuff off Fred Sanford's son, and he was chopping up all this stuff, showing me how to mix them into the record, like segues. That's what he called it. So he like, yo, you gotta put the segue in. So me and DJ What, we always drop the segue in as a shout out to Dusty A. That's my people. And the record has producers on it. It got the Vortex of Distortion. That's my collective. That's my crew of people. It got my man Taiwan Davis. That's my people. Got my man Kanata Smith. Met him through Taiwan. Dope producer. Got Odyssey. Met him in South by Southwest. Then I like connected with him. I was like, man, I want to buy a beat for my new album. Got a beat. And my man In Other Words. He's down with Dion Brown. This dude from Russia, Radio 75. Got my dude Mr. Scourge. Unorthodox Poet Society Forever. That was our email. And Dusty A. Then we got Fathom 9 on there from Memphis. Shout out. We got Lifeline Eternal. Dude Low Key from the East Coast. We got Dion Brown. It's the other half of with me trying to work this Joe Left Hand Records type of thing. He helped me maintain it. You know, I do all of the other work. He do all of the other work. Put it like that. That's all you need to know. And King Boom is on there. Who else? Fat Nice, my cousin. Back to my cousin. Always the biggest shout out ever, because without him, I wouldn't do music. His influence, his representation of hip-hop in our house was like, yo, this is why and how you should do it. We used to record tapes together. Pause record. Not for sensitive ears, not for sensitive ears, because it's always harder than these dudes, tougher than these dudes, more meaningful. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing about it soft. It ain't synthetic. It ain't watered down. It ain't polished. It ain't made for mainstream listeners and ears or none of that type of stuff. not trying to please nobody or help nobody better the way that they feel about things with the way this go. Music is raw. Mostly music is raw. So if you give it to people in this raw essence, they're gonna feel it like that. Sometimes when you sit back and listen to cats like Atlantic Star, Norman Connors, you listen to this old 80s soul music, 60s, 70s soul music, you feel it. You feel it. That's what's missing in music. So for me, I only know that. So that's what I give to it. I want you to feel it. I want you to be like, yo, this cat talking about something that actually happened based on his actual experience. Not this watered down version of some whack little story you thought of that don't nobody care of. You saw it. I got Respect to God from New York and Lyric Hill from Louisiana. They the only guests on there, because they the only people who had verses that I had at that period of time. So one thing about me, when I record something, if the next man ain't on time, I'm not going to try to keep up with him. I will not downplay me and what I need to do to try to keep up with somebody else's pace. A lot of these people that do music, they got more excuses than music. They got more to say about what they need to do than just doing it. To me, that's a lack. That's a lack of something. You know what I mean? A lack of motivation. You know what I mean? A lack of something. I don't know the words. I'm not going to use all of these words to define those type of things. But to me, I'm not going to set myself back to try to help somebody else keep up with what they need to do or they want to do, or especially if they're trying to help you, kind of what they should be doing to complete the assignment. You can buy the record at iTunes for digital people, eMusic, etc. All you gotta do is type pause record, not for sensitive ears, in your internet browser thing or your search engines, and you'll find it. And the physical albums you could get at Fat Beats, UGHH, undergroundhiphop.com, Access Hip Hop, and some of anywhere else who the distributors help push it to. You can find the record around. It exists even at my online store, www.infinito2017.com. That is a good way. And at Twitter, you can find me at Apperstat, the little thing, the little A thing with the circle around it. Infinito2017 at Infinito, you know. So Twitter /Infinito2017. Twitter is whatever. I don't like all this social network. Okay, he said, if it was one person I could work with, who would that person be? And I sat there and pondered on it from the first time I heard it, how many minutes ago? An hour ago, to now. And I'm still thinking, like, who would that person be? Man, it had to be somebody that's like very creative and somebody that's before their time. I would say somebody that's probably not around. I had to give it to two people then. Somebody that's not around and somebody that is around. I would say James Brown, rest in peace. And nowadays Madlib, because he one of the more creative people out there. Everybody else that try to do him, they just biting what he do. You know what I mean? I find that a lot in this hip hop stuff. People they want to do what somebody else doing instead of just following their own mold and their own idea. Sad. It's pretty pathetic. What I'd have to say to people getting into music nowadays, if this is what you're gonna walk into, like it's like, oh, I woke up out of some weird dream or out of body experience and now you want to do music, you should make sure you are coming from your heart. You know, I see singers sing and rappers rap, and most of the time they just pattern after somebody else. They're more like karaoke night performers. You know what I mean? Like, even with the little fake cypher things that you see on the internet and the parodies that people do and mock, it's sad that most of these people that do music cannot come from their own mind, their heart and spirit with anything. Even beat makers. most of their beats are like a reproduction of what another beat maker made, or their lyrics are a reproduction or mold or model of somebody else's sound, or you got these guys rapping over other people's beats and singers singing other people's songs trying to be them. You know what I mean? Cats see people on BET in the cypher, they want to hop in some cypher, and they never been in a real cypher in their life and rhyme. I remember coming up, we used to rhyme in this cypher like dudes who walk up, yo, and just go ba 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 ba. You know what I'm saying? I said Barcelona, France, Barcelona, Spain, hip hop, b-boys standing around. One of the cats, they start to cypher the beatbox. You walk in, I set the cypher off. It's like 100 people around me. By the time I'm done rhyming, I'm like, yo, this is what it's about. These dudes got a poster joint on YouTube trying to get somebody to like some stuff that it ain't real. The wackest part about music nowadays is people are not authentic. So if I'm to tell somebody to do something, be authentic. Be who you are. Even if don't nobody like you as you are, you're gonna go further being you than they are being somebody else. You see it with the fake gangster rappers claiming they're in the gang, ain't never saw that in their life. You see it with the fake thugs out here trying to be hard, ain't never experienced none of that type of stuff. The drug dealer rapper, the wannabe alternative, ain't know nothing about these lifestyles. Then they fit themselves into these little boxes with people that don't even care about them or want them near that. Be you. Because if you be you, those that are like you will find you. They will find you, and y'all will build together and do things together with that group. You know what I mean? Of like minds. But if you coming with this whack biting, stop biting. It's like, what happened? It's like the rules and change. Biting is a way of life. Don't bite. Don't bite, yo. Yo, son, don't bite. I think the state of hip hop and music and all that stuff is in a positive place, in the sense that more people are doing it for themselves. But with that, it's like it's in a sad place because you got so much unoriginality. It's kind of like it's more commercial than it's ever been, because it's all about money, and it's all about image and gimmicks and pop appeal and all these things that don't matter, and people that don't matter, and people influencing all these people and trying to be somebody else. That's the worst part about it nowadays. It's like, I don't understand how people wake up in the morning and want to be somebody else. It's like they hate themselves. They hate themselves so bad, they only know to be another individual. It's like they do it with everything. The way they educate themselves. You got our people, black people, for example. They don't want to study their own culture. Don't want to refine it. Don't help build up none of their communities in London, Chicago, Detroit, anywhere, Philly. They're not building up their communities, but they want to go work hard to help somebody else. You know what I mean? They forget where they from, or they don't know. They don't care. It's the worst thing you could ever do. If you don't help those that are similar to you, you're not helping yourself. Because ain't nobody else going to help you in the long run. They're going to take from you. They're going to take your music. They're going to take everything that you are and about. So I wouldn't even just say the state of music, just the state of people in general. Because the way they live and educate themselves and make themselves kind of pushes them deeper into a cave. Into this cave, you know, way in the back of that cave, you know, from the Greek. That cave, that same cave. And you stuck in your Greek world. It's your mythical illusion about yourself. You can never be yourself being somebody else. That's all I can say about that. You know what I'm saying, G? Like I said, you can find my music at my website, infinito2017.com. You can find it at places like iTunes. That's easy. iTunes and what other little stuff. eMusics, undergroundhiphop.com, type it in Google and go shopping. Infinito2017, you will find it. You know what I mean? Peace to beats, rhymes, and basslines. Infinito2017. Peace to my brother Marlon and my cousin Fat Nice. You know what I mean? That's how I do. And I'm out of here. That's it. That's all. I'm done. Ghost. And yeah, I just have to say this, you know what I mean? A message to the fake people in the world. I see you, and I see you being fake. I see you. You know what I mean? I don't acknowledge you. You don't acknowledge me. I don't acknowledge you. We think the same. So what happens is this. Two, you know, just for the heck of it, I got my new art series coming up. So, you know, I'll paint. I ain't gonna even call myself a fine artist. I call myself like a graffiti artist. You know what I mean? Because they don't get the true love that they deserve. So that's what I am. I'm a graffiti artist on canvas and walls and papers and all these places and these weird universes that you don't never see, and names under names you don't even know about. You know what I mean? Artist to love, artist to passion. That's what I do. You know what I mean? So that's my own personal shout out. You know, that's how I do it. That's how it's done. You know, represent.